Alright, now we're going to work to create the working drawings for our Peg Solitaire game. So with the model open, I'm going to go over here to click Design and click Drawing from Design. I'm going to go ahead and under Template make sure I select the title block CTEA and click OK. From there we're going to put in an isometric view of our game, and so I'm going to select a northeast isometric, and I'm going to change the scale here from 1/4 to 1, and so that's going to put in a full scale picture of our model. I'm also going to select to make sure it's shaded, and once I've done that I'm going to click OK. So there is our assembly for our Peg Solitaire game. The other things that we need to do are to create a part list. So under Tables, I'm going to click that button and I'm going to click Part List. Then I'm going to come over here to the top left corner and click to place the part. Automatically applied a balloon to our part for us. So you can go ahead and kind of manipulate the balloons, move them so they look a little nicer and they're not over the edges of our border. Once you have that done, we're going to go ahead and click to create a new sheet. On the sheet, we're going to create the detailed drawings for the parts. And so to do that, I am going to click to add a base view. I am going to put in a top view of our base model, and I'm going to scale it at 1:2. Once I do that, I'll go ahead and click to place the view, click OK. I'm going to unselect Peg because we don't need that. And the first thing I'm going to do is add some center marks for all these holes. So I'm going to come around and all the holes along the bottom edge, I'm going to add a center mark to. And then the holes that go up to this side of the part, I'm going to add a center mark to. And that's going to help us when we dimension this. So the first dimension I'm going to put in, I'll zoom in here a little bit, I'll get my dimension tool, is going to be the center to center of our holes. From there, I'm going to go ahead and create a dimension that goes from the center of this to the center of this. And it shows our 5-inch dimension. I'm going to come over and add a height dimension here from the edge of that to the center. Right there. Then I'm going to add another height dimension from here to that center point, and I'm going to make sure I drag it out at an angle so you can see that. I'll hit escape on my keyboard. I'm going to move this 3/8 of an inch down so it's a little bit easier to read here. And then we can go ahead and continue adding our dimensions. The next one I'm going to add is the height from the center to the center. So there's our 4.5. Now I'm going to add some radius dimensions for our different radius that we have. So there. And that pretty much takes care of that view dimensioning. I'm going to go ahead and click Project. And I'm going to project a right side view now. I'll click OK. On this dimension, I'm going to go ahead and dimension the thickness of the material. So I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see here's the thickness. I'll click to add that dimension. And then the last view I'll put in is a 3D view up here, and I'll go ahead and click to place that. Then I'm going to right click on it and click Edit and make it shaded. Kind of move your views around so you can see everything, and that will take care of the dimensioning for our base. I'm going to go ahead and click to create a new sheet, and now we're going to dimension the peg. And so under the view again, I'm going to click, and I'm going to leave this at a front view this time. I'm going to change the scale to 2, and that's going to allow us to draw that peg quite a bit larger. I'll click on my sheet to place it and click OK. I'm going to come over here under my browser and uncheck base because we're only going to be dimensioning the peg. for the peg, on this front view, the first thing we're going to do is add a center line. So I'm going to click center line, and I'm going to click these two lines, and it's going to put a center line in between those two. I'm going to hit escape on my keyboard to in the command, and I'm going to drag that center line and make it longer. From there, I'm going to get my dimension tool. I'm going to click on this point and this point, and I'm going to drag a dimension up for the diameter there. I'll click on this point and drag a dimension down for that diameter. I'll click here and here to add a height dimension there. And I'll click here and here to add an overall height dimension. Once we have that done, I'll add a dimension for the radius. So I'll click and drag that out. Then I'm going to project a top view of this. So I'll click on the front view, project a top view. I'm going to right click on it and say edit, and I'm going to show hidden lines with it. And then I'm going to project a three-dimensional view. Again, I'll right click and say edit, and I'm going to make this one shaded. I'm also going to include a center mark for the circle here. So I'll click center mark, click on the circle, and it will place the center mark in there for me. I'm going to kind of move my views around to center it more on the page. And once you have that done, you have your completed set of working drawings for the Peg Solitaire game.